Welcome, everybody. Hey, it's Deborah Atkinson. I am the founder of Flipping 50 and the creator of the Flipping 50 Advanced Specialist. And I've been getting so many questions about, okay, what is it like when you're inside the course? What is the course like? And a little bit of follow-up questions on the content and what's offered and where's the most, what was it yesterday? Where's the most hand holding? I think was the question someone asked me yesterday. So whether you need that or you just want to get a look behind the scenes, that's what I'm actually going to do. So that's why I'm kind of on camera here showing you what I've got for you. And I want to give you just a behind the scenes tour. So the view I have is always a little bit different than the view you have, but I'm going to show you everything. So basically, I've logged in. So I am in the Flipping 50 Fitness Specialist. And whether you opt for the specialist or you're going all the way, you're doing the whole thing, the advanced Flipping 50 Fitness Specialist, you're going to get a similar view, but I'll describe to you the nuances. And if you decide I'm doing the specialist and I'm doing the mastermind because I need support building my business in 2021 and beyond, now is the time to get in. So this, as we do this live, is Women's Health Month. And that'll be relevant to you. So stay till the end potentially. And I want to make sure that you get every question that you might have and don't even know to answer in this presentation. So let's just launch in. So first of all, I am literally logged in. So if you'll notice when you come to flipping50.com, that's where everything is housed. Although for you fitness pros, Fitness Marketing Mastery is where the podcast show notes all are, where blogs are under business tips and other things and assets for you and to help you build your business are sitting over at Fitness Marketing Mastery. We put everything related to our Flipping 50 world in here at this site. So you kind of have this sister site thing going on. And here's the reason. So Flipping 50, obviously, this is where I talk to my consumers and I'm giving you a back or a front row seat to the back end. So you're getting to look at exactly what I give to my customers, how I teach them, and I'm actually helping you understand why did I coach it that way? How is that going to be the most advantageous to my customers if I teach in that way so that you can make your own decisions about how you deliver your courses, your programs, potentially your memberships. So here's what it looks like when you're in. This is just a picture of kind of homepage. This is literally the course module. It is my consumer course that you're seeing, and you're going to see your pieces of it that are specifically only you can see. Now, I'm an admin, quote unquote, the boss, and yet my tech support knows that I shouldn't really be in here very much. But that means I can see everything. You won't see everything even that I am seeing here, and I'll point out to you which nuances you will see. But this is my After 50 Fitness Formula for Women course. And that is a part of what you get with the Flipping 50 Fitness Specialist. And I'm teaching you what I teach them. So number one, if you are a woman who's over 35 or between 35 and 65, 70, you'll go through this ideally as if you were taking it for yourself. And indeed you might be. You and I are not immune to hormone changes and disruption in what used to work for us simply because we're fitness instructors and health coaches. We too have to deal with that volatile, okay, this changed. So if this, then that, and know how to pivot for ourselves. And if you go through it as a student, thinking about how would I adapt to this? What am I going to do for myself? You will learn far more and really own it, and then have the opportunity to also go through the transcripts, either audio or the written transcript or both, so you absorb it as a student, going through it for herself, and then you also listen as a coach and read as a coach to really own that material, not memorize it, not try to, hold on to that long enough to take a quiz, but you really own that material. That's what I really want for you so that you can make decisions on the fly. Someone asks you a question, you know the answer. You don't have to go and look it up. You literally own it and know it. So here are the course modules, and they're all set up so that similarly, if we go to another course module, instead of seeing my morning face here, you'll see the cover for the PowerPoint presentation, and I will be talking through it much of the time. So this is the main page, talks about the welcome, what to expect. And for you who are in the Flipping 50 specialist or advanced specialist, whichever option you're choosing, you have a very specific audio that will come with the point of contact that you've got. You'll have your coaching audio to listen to as well, and you have the transcript. So if you prefer to read it and that's how you learn best, you know yourself, you can do one or the other. Or, of course, I recommend you do both because the more times we hear it, see it, and read it, the more we're going to absorb it. So those are all right there. So next up, you'll go through a module 1, and these are all going to come to you as a Flipping 50 fitness specialist. You will actually be registered, quote unquote, as if you were a consumer. You'll get the emails that I send to them, and that again is to help support you in how do I communicate the what to expect, the what's about to happen, the what you want to pay attention to your clients so that they learn and absorb more, they're not overwhelmed, because that's a delicate walk and dance that we make. And I want you to completely understand how to do that, because that will accelerate or slow down your progress with people and word of mouth referrals after people go through your program. So you're going to go through all of it and not only get the emails my customer gets, you'll get some emails for specifically you so that you can understand the specific message that I want you to emphasize in each and every module. And they're there to prompt you. You have access to the content for a full year. That, on my part, may be a mistake. And here's why. When we give people an open-ended, you have access to it for a year, do people do more frequent, more consistent workouts, or do they just kind of come in and it's easy for them to drop off and be low maintenance? I think that's very true. So I find that when we give people 8 weeks to complete it, 12 weeks to complete it, they get in, they get it done because it's going to be gone. It's going to disappear. So for you, I'm sending you an email every week because I want you to do module 1. I want you to do module 2. I want you to stay on track, and I'm going to stay on you so that you do that, and that after 9 weeks, you're ready because you've gone through 8 modules, you've reviewed, and you're ready to take that quiz. That will be the most successful way for you to complete the course. So this is an example of one of the modules. So in assess and prep, you can see that I've broken things into chunks. So it's not just one long video, but you've got some variation in length. So 16 minutes first, and then the bulk of the lesson is about 35 minutes. So you can listen to that in 2 different chunks and have it make sense. So sitting down for, 45 minutes or an hour. Very few of us have that, but we've got little short chunks that are doable, and you'll be able to come right back here anytime you want to. Now, underneath, you'll see that in the course itself, for the consumer, there are links. So in this very first one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different downloads. So there's 11 forms here. And for you in the Advanced Flipping 50 Specialist, you have access to yet another site where you can go download all of those after you have put your logo and contact information in it, you are ready to go. So you can start working with your own clients. As soon as you've finished a module and you feel comfortable, I know it, I've got points. And I'll tell you what, if you are a learner like most learners, if you learn something yourself and you then think about that enough so that you can turn around, teach it to someone else, now you own it. And again, that's the whole idea. The sooner you start implementing your coaching and teaching of what you're learning, the better off you're going to be. So you also will have these links to use or these templates to use. Pop your logo, contact information in. You can print those off right away. So these here sitting in the course, those are mine. They'll have my logo on them as they come to you, but you will have another place where you can go and log in and they will be customized for you. So you're ready to go. You have access to use those for 2 years of license as an advanced flipping 50 specialist. And these are not your PAR-Q. They're not the health history. You're going to want those kinds of things. You're going to want whatever test recording forms you already use because we still have to work with people on their health history and their joints and ligaments and their prior injuries or existing conditions. But we're also circling here hormone balancing intake. What do we need to know about them? So next up, we're skipping into nutrition. So that's just assess and prep and how we get clients ready. And you'll also be learning the indirect, the meta of the learning of not just the course, but of the how do I prepare people to be more successful in a course? That would be the assess and prep content. That's the kind of thing I'll be talking to you in the coaching modules. So we go through nutrition. And again, I've broken that down so you'll see there's 4 videos here. So shorter, more consumable, about 18, 17, 23, 11 minutes. So nice and easy. And again, a lot of downloads. So there's 2, 4, 6, 7 in this one. You'll notice that in every module, there are going to be some downloads. And of course, then the coaching audio and the transcript from each session. So there's one transcript for all that's inclusive of all of the coaching modules, but there are individual audios for each of the modules. So again, the exercise, of course, right? But notice it wasn't first because if we set them up right, getting the right nutrition, they're going to do better. So the exercise module is broken down into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 modules because there's so much to say about strength, about cardio, about range of motion, about whether it's endurance or it's high intensity interval training. So we're saying it all. We're talking about it relative to hormone balancing and midlife women. I know you don't need 101. You don't need what is cardio, what is target heart rate. What you need is how do I take that foundation that I have and how do I spin that into what is hormone balancing? How do I read signs and symptoms of my customer, my client, and then turn that into the exercise prescription they specifically need? We go through sleep. Ironically, I was just reaching out and connecting with my sleep expert, Dr. Michael Bruce. We go through stress, and again, fewer handouts on some of the courses, more on others. Module 7 takes us to hormones, and this is where you're really going to learn how do I apply that? What are the signs and symptoms of specific hormone imbalances that we see most frequently, so that as you gather your data on the intake forms that are inclusive now of hormones, you're going to know when they tell you that they've got X, Y, and Z, okay, that's this hormone. And in order to modify their exercise prescriptions so we can alleviate this, here's what I would do. That's what I want you to know, just like that. And there are common denominators, things we see over and over again. So this module is 35 minutes in length, but some of the most important 35 minutes of your entire program. The Whole You plan is module 8, pulls it all together at the end and how you decide, where do I start with somebody? Module 9, I've included for my consumers. Great way for you to look at, how might I lay out a membership site? How would I lay out videos? And we've all probably had a little bit more practice doing that than we'd like to admit in this last 12, 14 months of the pandemic, as we shifted into doing things online as opposed to in person if you weren't already there. So these are things that you really want to pay attention to from a meta view. Again, not necessarily do you need to see these exercises to know what to do. There's a bonus, two bonuses for consumers. You're going to get to see those, and that is adrenal fatigue and the bone health mini course. So that's an important, both of those are going to be important for you simply because we see a lot of adrenal fatigue. So if we take conventional and traditional exercise prescription, what I'm giving you overall is hormone balancing exercise. And then ultimately, on the other side of that is adrenal fatigue. A woman really hasn't paid attention to what her hormones are messaging her. She didn't meet you or me before, and now it's actually time. She's taken it too far. She's in adrenal fatigue, or what we call HPA axis dysfunction. If you're talking to a medical doctor, that's probably going to be better respected. And what do you do with that? So how do you get them back so that we can work with them here in hormone balancing? Because they need an entirely different exercise prescription, and you will understand better after watching that 50-minute presentation. I also give you access to my bone health mini course, and going through each of the modules for this one. So you're going to get 2 videos for this one. It's about a 45-minute presentation, and important that there's a module 2, a module 3, and a module 4. So there's really 4 lessons or 4 weeks of content. Probably you could fly by it easier. There will be a couple things in here that are eye openers, and a little information about what you really can do and have the ability to do with people who you're working with who have osteopenia or osteoporosis and who are really worried about it, and proof that they can make great strides doing home-based workouts if that's their choice. And a lot of people are worried about that, thinking they need heavy machines, not going to be able to do it or do it safely if they're at home. And I can totally throw that one under the bus. Had a client who at the end of 2019 was diagnosed with osteoporosis, started working with me at the beginning of 2020 before we went into the pandemic. She happened to be local. I don't do a lot of local anymore, but occasionally it's just fun to meet someone face to face. And we got her started, unfortunately got her started so that she'd be ready to use a gym. And then we ran into COVID. So we did some online really quick, rerouted, got her using dumbbells at home on a home-based program. She increased her bone density, and she is in her late 50s. So you can find that on the Flipping 50 podcast if you want to listen to it and the details of what I had recommended for her to start with and what she did over the pandemic that got her rave reviews, and she was thrilled. So there you have that. You also have access to 2 additional things. And one of those is my presentation for NSCA, National Strength and Conditioning Association's Personal Training Institute, on 12 hormones that influence and are influenced by exercise. So you get the breakdown of each one. What is its role? Where does it go wrong for women? What are the signs and symptoms that it goes wrong? So you're kind of hearing it from consumer side, and then you're hearing it from how I talk to fitness professionals and really break that down. And so you know it forwards and backwards, from the signs and the symptoms that somebody might be telling you. You know it from the hormone and what signs and symptoms it would give off and what role it plays, giving you the here's why we need to get this right, and how to give hierarchy to the hormones that may be going wonky because a woman probably has more than one going sideways. So, how do you decide what is the priority? You'll know that when you get through. So, I'm going to jump to the second part of the specialist mastermind. So here it is, and this is, you'll see. So again, I see more than you because I'm an admin, and they probably give me too much credit here by giving me access to everything. But this is either for you mastermind members who have access to hot seats and to master classes both. This is what it looks like behind the scenes. This is basically your membership page. So you log in here and you'll see, how to register for each of the monthly sessions, the hot seats, or the content-driven sessions where we're going over something specific. There is a bonus here, and you'll see several bonuses up here. Actually, we're about to do a new one on copywriting, so that'll be a live workshop for those of you that are already inside when we do that in June. And it'll be a replay that'll be here for access whenever you're ready. And one that you'll probably want to watch over and over and over, because everything you do, everything you say, everything you speak, every video you make, every guest appearance you do, every email you write, every post and text that you write, that is copywriting. And you do not want to be someone who writes the way you took your English lit class and got an A in. We're talking persuasive writing, sounding like you are a human talking in a voice, being a friend who's writing a quick note to someone else, not being formal or stiff, because people want to do business with people that they relate to. So you want to be able to talk in that voice, and I'm going to tell you how. Another bonus here is the 3-day 4 email promotion. That speaks for itself, something you don't want to overuse, but something you absolutely want to use. If you're doing the Flipping 50 Specialist and Mastermind, you will more than pay for your joining fee within one promotion. Done right, follow directions. The next thing that you'll see is an infrequent offer that we do is a 5-day Build Your Business Challenge. So it's free, it's online, it's in Facebook, and we have the recording here for you. So day 1, day 2, day 5, and there's a bonus day that we did as well. So you have not only the video, the live or the replay of the live, and you have the handouts sitting in there as well. So if you go through it one day at a time and take yourself through it as if you're going to keep yourself accountable, you're learning how to market yourself. You're learning how to hone in on that message, the right message for the right person at the right time. And all of that is so important. So once you've got the hormone balancing piece, you've got to have that other part. All right. So an example from some of the recordings that we've got. So month 1 was indeed our challenge. That's how we kicked it off. So that is in here. And for our mastermind members, we had them stick around and we talked to them with a workshop about how to save money right now. So if you're trying to build or rebuild your business in 2021, we want to cut your expenses as much as we can without harming your business. We want to cut those down. We also want to sell more. We want to do that in 2 different ways, and I talk about it in the program. And then we want to be thinking about how are you going to scale. So it can't be just you delivering a session every hour, because you run out of you, and you run out of energy, and you run out of inspiration and battery. So how do you scale? How is that going to look for you? Maybe you do want to be a one-person business doing most of it or all of it yourself, but how can that scale? How can you do it so that you're not spreading yourself so thin or having to do more and more hours? And that's what we talked about, so that you get off to a strong start. We also do hot seats every month for those of you in the mastermind. Listening to someone else's questions will help you benefit. So you'll see different of our mastermind members on camera with me, and we all are contributing some ideas to the questions that come up. Lesson 2, we talked about converting consultations. So many of us are doing, give me a free session or a free consultation, but those are no good unless you can sell or you have somebody else in that seat doing those consultations who can sell. So if you are hiring other trainers, fitness instructors to do them, you want to make sure you know how to train them or you've got somebody else in place who does. And we want to get them privy to the information we gave you here. I also talk on this one about how you track success. How do you monitor? What should you be tracking? We all know that clients often weigh themselves. So if they gain or lose weight, they don't know if they've gained muscle or fat. They don't know if they've lost muscle or fat, and that's going to backfire, right? So the same is true for us. We have to measure the right things. If we're not measuring the right things, and it's not the number of fans you have, because if you have a bunch of fans who are never buyers, they're not people who you want to buy. We don't want to be nurturing those people or wasting our time on them, right? So I teach you how to track the right things so you understand clearly what it is you need to start looking at on a weekly, definitely a monthly, and a quarterly basis. Then there are hot seats. We talked about that. Hot seats sometimes each month are on the topic. Sometimes they are ask me anything and you've got a specific launch going on. Maybe it's a case study, but more often than not, our content here is a really driven to marketing and to sales. Like, how do I get or increase my customer lifetime value? If I make this sale, how many people do I need to have in the seat? How do I position myself? Those are the kinds of questions that we ask on the hot seat. And by the way, if you're not familiar, never done a hot seat, you'll learn a lot by listening to other people, but I will teach you how to ask a great hot seat question so you get the answer that's really going to help you take action when you leave it. In month 3, we talked about how to amplify your reach and speak. And in this, we kind of went from that very base of let's help you save money, help you make more money, and think about where you're really going so you've got a good vision so that you can relax. And then we brought it back to, the things that you really want to be doing and tracking your success as you continue to do them. But now we want to take a good look at how can you reach more people, amplify your reach, put yourself in front of more people, the right kind of people at the right time, and what it is you want to be saying. How do you create content? By your blogs, your podcasts, your lives on social media. We talked about playbooks and helped you write one. So you get that content, you get the hot seats on that same topic, a couple other out of the box questions on that month as well. In month 4, talked about your blueprint for success. What is that? So it's your business funnel, and that's where we often talk about that in terms of your customer journey. Like, where do they find you? And what do they do next? What do you ask them to do next? What is it that you have to serve them based on their biggest problems? And what's after that? So I help you really lay out where is that customer? What are they thinking before they find you? And so, we can talk about how you create an irresistible lead that will convert over and over. Convert meaning someone will say, take my email address, give me that thing right now because I need it. And that's an art right now because it's getting crowded online. So, hot seats about that. We're all about how do I develop my business. Coming up, we're talking about tax strategy. So all that money that you're going to make, you want to keep it. And this is a time of year when I'm doing this live, when it's a little tricky. But no matter when we're talking about it, the opportunity for growth is huge right now in fitness. And you want to make sure you're holding on to as much of that money that you make as possible. So there are tax strategies that you can do that are perfectly legal, by the way, but you may not be aware of them. And the following month, we'll be doing legal strategies. So similarly, if you're doing business, you have a website, you're probably on social media. What do you need to know and what don't you know about marketing on social media or on your website, about collecting money on your website? What kind of forms, disclaimers actually hold up and need to be on your site? And where do you get them done? And how is that economical? What kinds of questions might you want to ask a lawyer? For instance, when is it beneficial to trademark? What if somebody else is using your business name or has your domain or you have theirs? What could happen? What are your choices and options? All of those are fair game. I'm going to ask you the questions I wish I had asked a whole lot sooner in my career. And then we'll get into looking at your annual publishing calendar. So, literally, how will you in January and February and March, what kind of content will you need to be creating based on themes for the month, like New Year's and getting started? Yes, but that content actually is what you want to be doing in December. So, how do you back up? Plan what you'll be publishing, plan what you'll be creating and writing, and work with that, organize that according to the calendar of what are you selling at the time. So, if you're planning on selling something around February 14th, early in January, we want to be starting to create certain content that will help you. So that pre-launch and launch period, you want all those things on your calendar, and I'm going to teach you how to get that done so that once you've created one annual calendar for publishing and promotions, what you have to do later is simply go and revise it. Look at what worked. That's how we end our time together. We'll be spending the last couple of months in this 10-month, 10 content lesson rich mastermind looking at how do you take into consideration the assessment of what worked, of what promotions, what time and energy and money you put towards certain promotions that really paid off for you. How much profit margin was there? How much time was actually invested by you? And was that worth it? Where do you want to spend more time and money and energy next year? What do you want to stop doing so that you're more profitable, you're happier while you're doing it, and your customers get better results in transformation? That is really the mastermind in a nutshell, teaching you how to do that. So, the private Facebook group, and by the way, when you go through the After 50 Fitness Formula for Women course, you're actually doing the hands-on course about hormones. You get to sit in like a fly on the wall in that Facebook group, which means you get to hear what questions do they ask? What are they asking me and how do I respond? But in here, in your Flipping 50 Advanced Specialist course, here's the kinds of questions that are getting asked, like by Linda, who asked, hope all is going well. And here's the length of this post. Sorry about that. So basically, she's asking me and other peers like you, if you're in this group, want to pick your brain and get some feedback on a certain client. She gave me the lowdown on the client. I came back with, I can't actually answer those questions without knowing this, this, and this. She came back and gave me some more feedback about what's going on for this client so that I could then give a better answer. That's all fair game. So that you could also ask questions about yourself. You could ask, here are my labs back for my recent hormone test or complete blood panel. What would you suggest based on looking at those for me or for a client, as long as you mask the name and any personal details? You can share that with us if they've released it to you. So this is a place for, you can ask about you can ask about a client and advice on what to do. You could ask about marketing. You could ask for feedback on your website, your social media posts, the images you're using, the text or the copy that you're writing in those posts. This is a place to get feedback about the positioning and the price for your next program and how you can make more money with it, all in here. So the only people in this group are active Flipping 50 fitness specialists and or mastermind members and some alumni who hang around and have been invited to do so. So there you have it. Really, that is in a nutshell the Flipping 50 Fitness Specialist. Your choices coming up really now are about which one makes the most sense to you. And I'm going to type in real quickly here. So I had one outstanding page I didn't have pulled up everything else, trust me. So this is your choice, basically. You have the fitness specialist. So if you want to do it yourself, you want to go through the course, you want to go through the coaching modules, take the quiz and goodbye. That's all I need. That's all I want. And continuing education credits, I'll get those. But if you want to go through the advanced Flipping 50 fitness specialist, you want to go through it and get the course credits, but you also want use of the templates. Just give them to me ready and done to put my logo in it and contact information so I'm ready to hit the ground running. You want feedback for your launch, for your marketing, for yourself, and for your clients potentially troubleshooting their hormone balancing exercise prescription inside the Facebook group. You only get that group in the advanced specialist. If you want support, programming, pricing, and positioning yourself and your brand, that all happens in the Facebook group. If you want support with a media bio so that you can do intervals or interviews, wow, am I a fitness coach or what? So that you can do interviews, maybe quickly, but not intervals. So you want to be in the advanced flipping 50 specialist. So those are your two lower level options. For those of you who've been in the specialist masterclass, you've gotten the whole view of the mastermind. And if you're going for the whole thing during this month, Women's Health Month, there's a special offer for you, and that is 40% off for you to get into the mastermind and the Flipping 50 Fitness Specialist right now. So, using a very special code, are you ready? It is Fitness Fest Fam. No spaces between Fitness Fest Fam 40. That'll get you 40% off. If you've attended the Flipping 50 Fitness Specialist, you know where to do it. It is flipping50.com/my success. But that's only during the month of May, Women's Health Month, because more women than ever in menopause are looking for you. Post pandemic, they've gained weight, an average of 1.5 pounds per month. We're now into about month 14. So you do the month or you do the math. As of May 2021, that is about 20 pounds weight gain. For women who are the average age of those study participants, which was 51, they're in that 2 to 4 year span where they're rapidly losing muscle and losing bone. That, what I just gave you right there, is a marketing message that will kill it. Here's what motivates people more than anything: fear. And unfortunately, we'd all love to be more positive, and I know it. But if we want to motivate people, sometimes we've got to pull that out. So I'm going to teach you all of those things in the mastermind. Don't wait. Right now is the time to be ahead of the curve during Women's Health Month. That's your special, but it will disappear. You can still do just the specialist, the advanced specialist. Those two are $4.99 and $9.99. But if you've been in the Flipping 50 Fitness Specialist Mastermind, you know how to reach the mastermind course right now. And that would be my recommendation. Flipping50.com/my success with the code FitnessFestFam40. All right, I'll see you on the flip side, and I hope that I actually see you inside the membership area.